Good day, everybody. This is Lone Eagle 112358. Thank you for joining me today. I appreciate it so very, very, very much. I really do. So I just want to get into this quickly. It never used to snow in the UK and Ireland. Okay, and I'm going to show you why. So you see this? The prevailing winds used to come down here, do this from the Arctic, then they would go boom right around, and they would pour down onto Europe and Russia and all that stuff. Well, they'd had their own streams of weather, but that's what happened, and that's why it never snowed, and that's why it's very wet here in the UK and in Ireland. The same thing could be said for Vancouver, BC, okay? They would come down and boom, it would go over in Alberta, hit Edmonton and Calgary, and those two cities had some of the coldest winters ever recorded. So there's a pattern in the world. But what bothered me is that I noticed this a couple years ago, and I was like, why doesn't it ever snow in London? I mean, if you look where Ottawa is, like right here where I'm from, it always snows. We get the coldest winters ever. But London's higher than us, okay? It's higher in coordinates and longitudes, okay? It should be worse there, but it's not. And I looked into it a couple years ago, and it's because of this damn thing. It went around, and I was like, oh, that's cheating. Anyway, make a long video short. It's oh my god, I got like 10 things that I want to say at once. Last year, when I noticed that the continents had been shifted further up north, okay, so the world used to be like this, and now it's like this. All right. I was like, oh my god, Ottawa's further north. That means we're going to get even more snow than before. So I ran around telling everybody I knew about Mandela, and I didn't know any better. And I'm like, and it's going to snow a lot. They're like, that's Canada for you. It snows a lot. I'm like, oh, you guys don't get what I'm saying. And I was like, I'll take it even a step further. It's going to rain a lot in May. I'll even add another one. They're like, whatever. Well, when May hit, some people that I told this to came up to me. They're like, hey, man, I remember you said that shit. How did you know that? And I was telling them about this. And they're still not believers in the Mandela. But, you know, they remembered I said that, and I felt good about it. But, yes, we had record snowfalls this year, and we had record rainfalls. And I know a lot, and a majority of you viewers can say that about your own area where you live in, where it does snow. I don't expect people in Arizona to say that. But in a lot of my videos where I was predicting this, I was talking about the continent shifting further up and how it's going to be colder for some places. A lot of people, a lot of viewers, and you guys are awesome. This is why the community is important. We're saying, oh my god, Lone Eagle, it's snowing in London. It never used to do this. Or there were different parts of London, I don't know. They were saying, but they're saying the same thing. Oh my god, Lone Eagle, it's snowing in London. It's snowing where I'm from. It's snowing in Ireland. And not just, oh, it's one day of snow, because that's what these places are used to. Places like London and Vancouver, when it does snow there, they get about snow for enough. It snows an inch, and they lose their minds. They don't know how to drive in it, and it stays for about a week, no more than a week. This year is a different story for the UK, all right? So before I go into it, I want to show some residual stuff. Basically, I typed in snow in London, and I came up with this article. It's from TripAdvisor Canada, and this article was written in 2007 of September. And this person wrote, I love snow and I love to see snow in London. So how often does it snow in London? What time of the year does it snow in London? I assume it's between December and early February. If it snows, how much? 2-3 inches? 6 inches? And then that person got an immediate response as with, on the same day, when it snows in London, it tends to be a fraction of an inch. However, it snows in London perhaps once a year. And then a whole bunch of comments concurring with it, okay? Some people saying they once had a white Christmas. Same kind of stories you hear in Vancouver, all right? So I'm looking at this site right here. It's called VentuSky, and I didn't need this site. What I'm about to show you, I already knew from 5 months ago. I just didn't talk about it. Okay, and it's very important that I'm talking about it right now because it's just a trend and we need to follow trends. When I was showing you guys that the wind never went through London and Ireland, I keep calling this whole thing London. I mean UK and Ireland. Basically, I was showing you guys that the wind would do this and come up and around. But if you're looking at it now, the gloves are off, okay? Because of all the changes we have in this Mandela world, we're told not to love the world for what it is or stuff like that. It's now changing all the laws. Okay, now the prevailing winds are running right through the UK and in Ireland. Look, and in every direction. So look from the west. Now boom, from the north. Okay, continuing from the north, almost from the east, like northeast. And every day there are just, that just appeared out of nowhere. But I mean, these things can happen now. This never happened because of the barometer meter or whatever. I don't know the proper terminology for what the weather people use, weather forecasters, but high and low pressures have changed around the world. That's the only explanation for it, because now you've got just weather running rampart. And I'm not talking about this coast here, because we're accustomed to seeing hurricanes always hitting the South Keys or Florida, and but not up here. And I'm not talking about a hurricane. I'm not talking about this. This is something that just popped up. I'm not trying to warn people. Well, I mean, take heed, and we now see it here, but my God. I'm not used to this program. Hold on. You're seeing the winds just tearing through Ireland and the UK now. So I showed you this article, and all the people down here from 2007, September, are saying, yep, it only snows once a year, and blah, blah, blah. Now this article is from last year. Okay. Let's see, where's the date? September 29, 2016. Okay. Let's read this together. And this is about the same time I was making predictions, or right after I made a prediction about my own town of how we were getting record snowfalls and record rainfalls. And anybody that lives here in Ottawa can attest to that. Leave a comment in the section below. And anywhere where you live, I guarantee you could almost attest to that. So let's read this, and then I'm peacing out. UK set for heaviest snowfall in years. Long range forecast warns of winter 2016 big breeze. All right, let's continue reading. Britain is facing the heaviest snowfalls in years this winter as the country's first icy blast arrives in 6 weeks, unleashing 4 months. They even capitalized it there, as I highlighted, of heavy snow and sub-zero temperatures. Forecasters have announced 4 months. Well, that's how long it snows here in Ottawa. That's a winter season. So all of a sudden, you went from 1 day a year to maybe we'll push it to a week of snow in the UK to 4 months. From 7 days to 3, 6, 9 to 120 days, give or take. Okay? Thermometers are about to plunge amid predictions of crippling snowstorms and major whiteouts lasting into February. Experts warn to expect a very exciting December, even hinting at the possibility of a white Christmas this year. Okay. When I lived in Vancouver that 1 year, it was a white Christmas, and I was glad to partake in it. Thank you, the Creator. I'm just showing a trend, guys. I'm going to end the video here. All right. I just wanted to show you guys that it's something has happened. Oh, yeah. One other fact here I want to share with you guys. In my old world, so I showed you guys one weather pattern that used to happen. The winds would come down, right? Carry all the cold wind and go over and then down. And all that cold wind would turn all this moisture into snow and ice and snow. While it left London free of all that. I'll show you other weather patterns that were happening in my world that now are different. Okay, what's going on here? What's going on? Okay, I gotta close this. Something's freaky going on. I'll reopen that. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. We're almost done the video. Thank you for hanging in there. So I'll show you something else that's happening. Oh, I know why. It's my cat sleeping on the keyboard. Mimi. There we go. Oh, sorry. I don't want to disturb her too much. Alright. What was I doing here? Oh, yeah. So I'll show you the old weather pattern on my world. Old world. Our old world. Okay. So the storms used to only happen in this hemisphere. Okay. And the storms used to only happen in this hemisphere. They would never cross the line, the equator, because of how pressures worked in the world. I don't know, because of how the world spins, okay? I don't know if the world is even spinning. I'm not going there. I'm not doing it. But now, okay, you've got storms crossing the equator and even just continuing on down. Majority of the time, though, they're doing this. They're just going over, and there'll be a big storm, and all of a sudden it comes down for a bit and goes back over. That's happening now. Okay? So let's look at this, and then I'm going to peace out. Here's the equator. You see that? Because this is Ecuador, guys. Remember the video. Okay? You see that? That's, imagine the equator there. Now, as we go over, you'll see that there's this line of wind just going all across the equator now. You can see it going across. It never used to do that. Look, boom, then back down. The winds always stayed in the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. Always. That's what I've always known, because I used to watch models like this all the time. Not all the time, but I paid attention when they were happening, okay? So, like I said, you see the majority of the storms down here. They're staying down here. But now they're starting to cross a bit. I don't see any major ones, but they're touching over, and it never used to do that. Let me know what you guys think. If you have more information on that or anything I've described here, if you could add to it, that'd be great. Thank you very much for your patience and time, and lots more videos coming out, like I said, but I just wanted to share that with you guys so we could recognize a pattern and a trend. And if you live, not many viewers from UK, but if you could attest to this, please leave a comment in the section below. If anybody that lives there, I remember some people did used to live in Ireland and now live in America, and Stash is one of them. So if you guys remember, just let me know in the comment section below. Put this puzzle together, because we're part of a community and this is how we do it. The more information is out there for everybody to read, the more we could all, add to it, right? So keep the love, keep the peace, one love, no fear, all right? Love yourself, love your neighbor, I love you, and that's about it, because I'm going to start repeating myself, all right? All right. Own Eagle, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. Here, do this from the Arctic, then they would go boom right around, and they would pour down onto Europe and Russia and all that stuff. Well, they'd had their own streams of weather, but that's what happened, and that's why it never snowed, and that's why it's very wet here in the UK and in Ireland. The same thing could be said for Vancouver, BC, okay? They would come down and boom, it would go over in Alberta, hit Edmonton and Calgary, and those two cities have Good day, everybody. This is Lone Eagle 112358. Thank you for joining me today. I appreciate it so very, very, very much. I really do. So I just want to get into this quickly. It never used to snow in the UK and Ireland. Okay, and I'm going to show you why. So you see this? The prevailing winds used to come down a couple years ago, and it's because of this damn thing. It went around, and I was like, oh, that's cheating. Anyway, make a long video short. It's... Oh my god, I got like 10 things that I want to say at once. Last year, when I noticed that the continents had been shifted further up north, okay? So the world used to be like this, and now it's like this. Alright? I had some of the coldest winters ever recorded, so there's a pattern in the world. But what bothered me is that I noticed this a couple years ago, and I was like, why doesn't it ever snow in London? I mean, if you look where Ottawa is, like right here where I'm from, it always snows. We get the coldest winters ever. But London's higher than us. Okay? It's higher in coordinates and longitudes, okay? It should be worse there, but it's not. And I looked into it. I was like, oh my god, Ottawa's further north. That means we're going to get even more snow than before. So I ran around telling everybody I knew about Mandela and I didn't know any better. And I'm like, and it's going to snow a lot. They're like, mm-hmm. That's Canada for you. It snows a lot. I'm like, oh, you guys don't get what I'm saying. And I was like, I'll take it even a step further. It's going to rain a lot in May. I'll even add another one. They're like, whatever. Well, when May hit, some people that I told this to came up to me. They're like, hey, man, I remember you said that shit. How did you know that?